And welcome back. Dr. Kimberly Orr is asking all of your eye questions. Dr. Orr, here's something that we've been talking about, something that might be bothering some people lately, allergies. What are signs your eyes are irritated by those allergies?
The biggest symptom that people have is itching of the eyes, especially if the itching right in the corner of the eyes. That's almost always allergy related, especially if it's worse during these transitional seasons, spring and fall. And also watering eyes, red eyes. Those are all signs that you may have some allergy eyes.
Okay, so what kind of treatment options are out there?
So sometimes just an artificial tear is enough to flush out the things that are bothering your eyes and lubricate the eyes, especially because people who have dry eyes may be more sensitive to those allergies. But they do make over the counter allergy eye drops as well as prescription strength allergy eye drops. So definitely talk with your eye doctor. They can make some good recommendations for you about that.
Okay, lots of great treatments out there. We're starting to get some more viewer questions sent in. A question here, what are the different types of sunglass lenses and which ones would you prefer?
So, kind of going back to what we were talking about before, but polarized and non-polarized are probably the two biggest categories in sunglass lenses. So, polarized is always, again, better to cut down on glare, especially if you're somebody who's involved in things like skiing or fishing and you're constantly outside where there's a lot of glare reflected off of water or snow. It's always good to have the polarized lenses.
Okay, and what about this question? Do darker glasses offer an increased level of UV protection?
Not necessarily on the UV protection angle, but again, kind of cutting down on more light that's let in. So if someone is really light sensitive, the darker glasses can help with that.
Alrighty, so we love being outside, out and about, but so do our pets. So I got a question for you. Do our pets need sunglasses?
That's a great question. I honestly would say yes from that standpoint, but the how to make that happen, I don't have a good answer on that one because I know my dog personally would never let me put anything on his head. So there's that angle.
Yeah, our family dog is like that too. Doesn't like clothes, hats, so I couldn't imagine her wanting to wear glasses. So this next question that just came in from a viewer, how do you stop eye twitches?
Eye twitches, that's great. That almost always comes up, but it's usually related to stress, lack of sleep, too much caffeine. So cutting those things out, trying to minimize stress, those can be really great things to try and get rid of that lid twitch. Usually they go away on their own eventually.
Alrighty, and we do have a viewer that asks, how often should you get an eye exam?
Once a year is what is recommended for just a comprehensive exam, checking front to back and updating the prescription. Sometimes people will have certain conditions that require them to come back sooner, but once a year is the minimum, and your eye doctor may direct you to come back sooner for other reasons.
Alrighty, this next question is pretty interesting here. Someone asks, do the color of your eyes impact eye sensitivity to light?
They can. Lighter eyes can definitely be more sensitive to sunlight, but I see people with all different eye colors with different sensitivities to light. So it's just kind of more, I tell patients, think about your pain tolerance, and some people are more tolerant to that than others. Some people just have more light sensitivity than others.
All right. This next question, I'm sure a lot of folks at home, Dr. Orr, are pretty curious about. Someone said dry eye is a problem for a lot of folks. How can you determine which is the best to use for dry eyes?
In terms of artificial tears, there's a lot of options over the counter. So Refresh and Sustain are two of my go-to brands that are, very safe, very reputable, really good. So sometimes it can be a little bit of trial and error, and different types of dry eye may do better with certain artificial tears, and sometimes a prescription's required as well. So always best to get a dry eye evaluation from your eye care provider.
Okay. We were just talking about eye exams. I go yearly because, like I said before, I wear glasses, I wear contacts, but then I have friends who say they have 20/20 vision. Someone just asked, if I have perfect vision, should I still go to the eye doctor for regular checkups?
Yes, it's always important to go for regular checkups just to make sure the health of the eyes is great. There are certain conditions that we may not realize that we have. Glaucoma is the big one. that can only be diagnosed early from an eye doctor, and you would not have any symptoms in the beginning. So still worth going once a year just to get the health of your eyes checked.
Perfect. So before we go to our next break, I do have one more question. How can you tell if your sunglasses are really protecting you?
That's a great question. Before purchasing them, make sure that they do have the requirements. If you want the polarization, look to see if they are polarized. Look to make sure that they're the 100% UVA and UVB protection. And then that's probably the best way to truly make sure. And as long as you're feeling comfortable in the sun, that you're not squinting, you're not feeling like you're getting a lot of light sensitivity and irritation from the sunlight itself, then they're probably doing their job.
Alrighty, thanks so much, but we're not done yet. Keep those questions coming in. We'll be answering your questions after the break. Anything about sunglasses, eye care, eye drops, just text the number on your screen, 336-379-5775. Again, that's 336-379-5775.